Yeah. Well, you know, when they first get something, then they start tinkering with it. Come up with other options.
The more I watch them talk about FT8, it's more as like, this is just a approved version of PSK31.
Except that you don't have to type.
Yeah.
You don't have to spell.
Well, yeah, but a lot of the automated processes of PSK31 were going that way.
Yeah. This is that way for sure. Boy, no cars over.
They moved for a second or something. Well, there's that issue too.
Was that guy going out of business? Is that the guy that was
I think so.
30 or 40 years?
Yeah, not necessarily in that location, but
No, but I meant in the business, trying to...
I think so. I think I could be wrong. Is that our neighbor that was burning his burn pit?
I don't know.
Well, part of what helped is I had my window open. This didn't help anything.
I know. That's why I turned your air conditioner on.
Yeah.
That's a little bit on that.
Put some guys right
Two monster biscuits, please.
Monster biscuit, 1245, second window.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Probably some pollen out now. I haven't checked on it, but there's definitely dust going around, and especially since all the
everything blooming. I noticed it yesterday,
and also the fact that we were digging through stuff and stirring stuff up, and then stuff went down into the vent for the air conditioner heater between the living room and the bedroom, our bedroom. Now, it should get better airflow into the living room now, being that that's not buried under this much crap.
Yeah.
Lots more to do. But it took all that just to find a spot for the chair.
Yeah.
That's a temporary spot. More crap's got to be moved so we can get things back to some order, which requires lots of work. We're not there yet. We did find a one of those cooler bags Jen can use to take stuff to work. I used to take stuff to work. A couple of them. Hi there. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be close to 80 degrees today.
What?
It's supposed to be almost 80 degrees today.
That's why we got the air conditioner running.
Yep.
Tested it yesterday. It'll run for a couple of days, then we won't need it for a while.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye. $3.39. Why is it going down?
Probably because he's releasing stuff out of the reserve.
There isn't going to be anything left in the reserve in case there's a big war.
Well, I think that's what he wants.
Yeah.
Then he can pass a whole bunch of these policies.
Yeah, then he'll turn around and make it, okay,
Well, if gas goes up significantly, then he can force in these policies for renewables and get the electric cars.
It ain't gonna work for the crap.
Problem is, electric cars all got to come from oil. Oil-producing countries that do not like us right now.
Yeah, well, he hasn't done a thing to help anything.
Oh, did you hear their little secretive plan now the Democrats talked about doing?
You know what they're gonna try to do?
I guess they formed the secretive plan back in January. They're gonna force some bill through, some minor little bill.
Yeah.
And they only need 5 Republicans to sign on it, and they can up the debt ceiling.
Oh, that's sneaky.
Yeah. Some little Democratic package that it's good for both sides. It's just a small little bill that really is kind of insignificant, but it's, I don't remember what it was about, but it was basically whatever it was like beneficial to both parties.
The question is, how long?
Problem is if the Republicans don't sign it, they look like junk, because that bill is supposed to help. I don't know if it was helping schools and kids, but it was something like that.
They threw a whole bunch of money in schools.
Well, it was some bill, like something that was like the Republicans wanted.
Yeah.
But it's also something the Democrats don't mind having, if they can get the debt ceiling up through. Now, the one Democrat guy says, well, the leadership's already passed their thing on it for the debt ceiling, which includes all these cuts and other things, which next Democrats they want. Yeah, but if they can have their version passed, then they don't have to worry. Then they can pass that through the Senate quickly, and then the Republican bill going to the Senate will be dead, which is probably going to be dead anyhow.
We don't know. They lie some more.
That's what they do. It's kind of like that one with that Speaker of the House now. It's like they promised him all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so we get him on board with some of these bills. And then they told him it was all a lie. So then he pulled back his support. So then they had to go to him and get more support, more promises. And he finally signed on board with it. Yeah, it's kind of like these 5 Republicans are going to need for the House. It's like if they can promise them everything that they want,
yeah,
then they might sign the bill.
Yeah, Bozo's got that involved in it too. So. It's
Like, as bad as they're talking about how bad the debt is, and the debt ceiling, and they take extraordinary measures. Well, this is the best bank that just failed.
Yeah.
They took on a huge amount of debt. They took on like a couple $100 billion.
Why would they do that?
And then they sold their couple hundred billions that they took on as debt to J.P. Morgan for like pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
So now J.P. Morgan has lots of assets.
Yeah, but no money.
Well, they do and they don't. The good parts of the company went to J.P. Morgan. The bad assets went to the U.S. government. Yeah, the ones that probably won't be able to be repaid. Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah, great. J.P. Morgan made a whole bunch of assets.
Yeah.
U.S. government made a whole bunch more debt,
Well, that's what they're good at.
along with paying for it.
That's what they're good at. Look over here at the Trinity parking lot. It's so wild.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's nobody there.
And look at the orthopedic one too.
Yeah, but they specialize in different stuff.
This is going to go over there too.
Really?
That's what I hear.
Why? What's the point?
Because they do surgeries over there.
Really?
So if you do surgeries, you're going to have an office over there.
Okay. But they do a lot of the therapies and other things that don't require anything like that.
I don't know what they're going to do with that.
That seems so dumb.
Well, they want to get everything in the big league.
That's a still fairly new building, more or less.
It's just tacked on in front of the hole.
Well,
We'll see what happens out of all this leftovers.
the problem with all that stuff downtown is there was next to no parking all the damn time.
Right, well, you might have the same problem in this place because
Well,
you drop the people off, then you don't want to walk 6 miles out to the park.
yeah.
That's going to be part of the problem there. Looks like the parking lot's big, but it looked pretty full the other day.
Yeah. Well, they got the room. They can expand the parking. They can expand the parking now. If they do it quickly, they can expand the parking.
Well, here's the deal. It's going to cost money, and I don't know if they have the extra money.
I know they got to pay for the building now.
I don't know if the government gets something towards that, probably.
Probably federal grants.
Well, you need to keep the
Lights on, people.
you need to keep the capability there.
Steady income coming in.
Patch people up.
Well, yeah.
Even if you got to take them somewhere else.
I'm sure they'd love to put Stanford out of business.
I don't think they would put Sanford. Wouldn't surprise me if it could be Sanford. Sam. Alright, we have our phone traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to look at. Mom doesn't think I made you buy the Wonder Radio.
No. No. I've been hemming and hawing about it for about a month now. And all the other things I was thinking about. There would have been another power supply.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, yeah. There would have either been another power thingy box, or it would have been, it may have been one of those mini computers, mini desktop replacement ones, but after looking at those a million times, and I was like, we better save up for a better one when they come out with the better ones. There's still some money left in my card, so I can still get a few things.
Do you want me to see if I can find a Keurig at Walmart?
It's up to you. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'm just asking you.
You can get the simplest of the simple ones for all we care at this point. We can get the $30 one.
Just asking the question.
I don't really care. I mean,
this is the one we got when the other one
yeah,
failed,
when the other one died, yes.
and then they replaced it with this one.
Yeah.
Which has been a good machine.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's up to Mom's idea. Mom wants it, we want it or not. I mean, we can get.
I got a different thing for poking smaller holes.
The problem is with the way it does the holes poking is you get all the crap that comes with it.
I know, but I have a different device that can build that can create a different hole.
No, it's not. It's not even that. It's because the way it punctures it.
Yeah.
It doesn't go through the. When the Keurig punctures a hole in the bottom, it sprays the coffee inside the machine on top and bottom, and then it runs it through like a little filter thing, so you don't get all the junk, the grounds coming with it. And these grounds you cannot take a spoon later and like you can with the other instant coffee stuff. They're there regardless.
Oh yeah, the real grounds.
So it means you'll be eating on the grounds that don't taste good.
Well, they're okay up to a point.
Yeah. Well, we could get some of the we have some of those instant coffee things that you could just make out of it. Just the regular thing, still heat water up through it.
I think Mom kind of liked the Keurig. She
Does?
I don't know what they cost.
Anywhere from $50-$60 for a cheapo to $559 if you want the cappuccino version.
Tempting as that is.
Oh yeah, there's all types of makes and models. If the radio thing doesn't work, then it's another paperweight of junk that I've bought before.
Well, it'll work. The question is, with the small antenna and low power,
Yeah.
that will limit
it's compact, so it could, in theory, be mounted in a vehicle.
It could.
Or do we have an HF radio in the van?
Yes, it has HF and 2 VHF UHFs in the van. Using an 11-meter antenna and the tuner to tune the 11-meter antenna instead of putting the 9-foot 11-meter antenna on here.
Well, it has a 3,000 watt battery pack on it, so.
But you could sit on a picnic table out in the yard.
Yep.
And do it. You could drive somewhere out in the park and do it.
Yep.
Maybe even do it from the hotel.
Yeah.
Just have to get the right conditions. Not be close enough to a window where you can get outside. They got metal film on insulation or windows that really cuts down your chance to.
Yeah.
But it's a
Good to see it for receiving too for a lot of time.
well, it's a QRP radio.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that it's not.
Yeah, I know it's not that much powerful. I know.
Well, it is in the right conditions.
Yep.
I did 25 watts AM on what
Yeah,
the band
I know.
was. I can't remember what it was when I talked
10.
to Washington State. And it was only
Went
25
through the,
watts
yeah,
AM.
repeater, yeah.
Huh?
You went through the Boston repeater.
No, this is a total different deal. And you're not authorized to go to the FM range on 10
Yeah.
as a tech. You should do like 28.3 to 28.5 or
Yeah.
something like that. For phone, and then you've got 2100, 2800, 2800 digital. So FTA, if 10 opens it, that would be a good one.
Made a really interesting little radio to bring coffee to.
Well, that's what
Lynn did with his little thing.
Did. It is a deployable HF radio. And there's a plug-in for it for DC or AC.
Yep.
So you can plug it right into a Jackery or a
Yep.
or something like that.
Yep.
That gives you a whole different level of options.
Yeah, I went with the antenna they recommended, but
That's what Lynn
yeah,
got.
it may not be the best antenna in the world.
But that's what
But-
Lynn got, and it's got a lot of merit to it.
That Comet.
It's kind of like an Outback. Both not bad. So it will give you the best signal it can.
Yep.
Based on
And unlike if I went with the 705, which was tempting to think of, it was other than it would be $1,500. The 705 doesn't have a built-in tuner,
auto tuners are nice.
which is really surprising actually for a radio that expensive.
Yes. Well,
I mean, basically it's a 9700 with a 7300, but no tuner, which is real surprising. This thing does not have a touch display on it. Nope.
that's okay too now.
Other than there's the regular firmware that you install in it, and then you load this other. You can load this other firmware, which basically sits on the chip.
Yeah.
And if you want to go back to the regular firmware, just pull the chip out, reboot it, and it goes back to the original firmware. But it will auto decode Morse
That's sweet.
on the radio.
That's
It will
really
decode FT8 without a computer.
That's
Someone asked me about logging, but
Well, even if you don't log, it's still cool. With the 7300 now and the WSJT, it's got logging built in, which is pretty slick. Not that I know what to do once I'm logged.
And the guy who's putting out the custom firmware has a whole bunch of options. He's gonna do. I think they were talking about maybe trying to do APRS with that thing, APRS, because it has a GPS built into the thing.
That's pretty interesting too. Well, like say you're on a mountain or a hill or something.
Well, think about that. 5 watts on that.
Huh?
5 watts. You know.
Well, it works when it works. You know, it's an HF rig, and if the conditions are good, you'll get out just fine. And if they're suck, then. But even with the big antenna and the amplifier, sometimes the conditions really suck.
Yeah.
You know, but I was, like I said, I did 25 watts AM from the car, I think, with 11 meter antenna, and I was talking to some guy in Washington State. And I said, well, that works. It ain't going to work all the time. But I did use 100 watts to talk to Japan not that long ago.
Yeah.
You know, so it depends. You know, it also depends. Some guy you're trying to get a hold of, if there's a pile up near 5 watts, I'm going to have a really tough time trying to get through a pile up. Sometimes 100 watts doesn't get through a pile up. But there's no pile ups. You know, 5 watts is going to work. Depending on conditions. It all becomes a physics experiment. You know, what's going to work, what's not. Try to predict. Is there like a standing antenna on?
I don't really know.
That would be the other question. Could run some sort of stand or something like that.
Don't know enough on that one.
I don't know if I threw out that base I built for you for doing the 2 meters. When you plug your handheld into that antenna, the piece of PVC pipe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I still have that plate or not. I don't know if that would be a good thing or not. But I'm sure there's going to be lots of articles on that.
Well, there is. There's tons of articles. Well, there's some people that had like antennas that were sticking off this thing. They were holding it like an old Sugile radio from, you know, when Vietnam, the handheld radios, the field phones. They had people with some kind of antenna sticking off it.
This is going to be far superior to any of that stuff. Because Barry was going to buy one of those ones from the Chinese made.
I don't know, everything is made by Chinese.
But it's an old clunky, like that big green